Welcome to another episode of South Africans living in ... New York. My name is David Kau. Those of you that are wondering, that probably found this video because I boosted it for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
So that's like 49,000 rand.
Yeah, for like half a day.
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi, welcome back.
This is Lyla. ILLING.
I had to train him before how to say it correctly.
And her middle name is Bongile.
Yes, that's correct.
Sorry, I need to do a airplane mode.
Phone's going off.
Airplane mode.
Yes, Bongile, that is true.
Lyla's Bongile ILLING.
Got the name in college.
Who is South African living in the Big Apple. And then we'll probably have like graphics or like inserts and like things like. Definitely we'll have like a fire truck siren because you can't be in New York without hearing that thing.
Our background noise.
You've only been in New York for a year?
Yeah, just over a year now.
Just over a year. Do you like it?
I do, very much. It stole my heart, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What did you know about New York before you came to New York? Like, was it like, I need to get out of South Africa, and then like maybe like Australia is too far, London is too full, I'll go to New York? Or was it like,
I don't know, I think certain things just fall into your journey. I didn't know that much about New York. When I got on the plane, it was my first time traveling out of Africa. I didn't grow up traveling.
But you'd been on a plane before?
Yeah, and I lived in Botswana for like 2 years.
Okay.
I mean, that's that. But just arriving to New York City, like, I mean, just going back to when I was in South Africa, I traveled from Kwa-Zulu Natal to Johannesburg, so that was already like, you know, just an introduction to things can be a little bit faster. And then moving to New York was sort of like, it just hit me in the face.
Where were you born?
Born in Kwa-Zulu Natal.
Where in KZN?
Very close to a rural town, Hlahluwi.
You know, I know Hlahluwi from an old comedian Mel Miller, from his joke.
Yeah.
It's the first time I heard the word Hlahluwi. I've never been, I don't know where in KZN it is.
Yeah, I haven't been.
But I've had it for literally almost 20 years that I've known Mel Miller.
Yeah, what was the joke?
The name Hlahluwi. He does a joke about how they were smoking weed and they were in Hlahluwi somewhere, and then they couldn't say the words afterwards.
Well, if most people still can't speak
and
then.
they were taking a leak at a river, and an elephant came and stuck its trunk in between his legs while he was.
That sounds like
he must have been very high at that time. So how long? I mean, I read a little bit about you. I know your mom passed when you were still very young.
Yeah.
And you used to sing in the car when you guys were going to places, but you couldn't afford a radio. The car didn't have obviously cars used to come with a radio as an option. I don't know if that happens all over the world, but in South Africa, definitely. You had that blank black thing on the dashboard. If you buy the radio, they're gonna cut it out, and they're gonna stick that big ass radio thing in there.
That's right.
You know, so you guys couldn't afford that.
It was optional,
But you had the car at least. And when did you get the guitar? Or where did the guitar come from?
Where did the guitar come from? When I was in high school, my friends put money together to get me a guitar for when I was 16.
Yeah.
That was my first guitar. And then I have another guitar story of when I moved to New York, which I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
Well, I know you're a musician.
Yeah.
And you play the guitar. And back then, all you had was pretty much your guitar, you know.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a place to stay at some stage. But you were always with your guitar.
That's right.
And where do you want to start? So your mom passed when you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
Then you went to live with your dad.
I did.
Were they separated?
They were already separated, yes.
Okay.
He was already remarried.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wanted you to study...
Economics. Anybody who knows me would know that that is a disaster waiting to happen. I still don't know very much about accounting, or I was on a date the other day and somebody asked me what the population of South Africa was, and I was like, I don't really know, and they ended the date, they weren't impressed with me.
What?
They thought
in New York?
In New York, yeah.
You should have Googled it. You should have taken your phone and
I
like,
think,
Siri, how many people are in South Africa? I don't know, Lyla.
But, yeah, I mean, so yeah, he didn't really think that being a musician or an artist, or my dad didn't think that was like a real career choice, and I like expressing myself in writing, and he didn't really think much of that, so he tried to steer me in a different direction. And then
did you run away from home, or did you tell him you're leaving?
I ran away after a lot of abuse, also from his wife.
Okay.
So full disclosure. But I think it's important to speak about these things, and you know, it's been long enough, and yeah, so it was a bit of, you know, it was a lot of things. But yeah, when I was 15, I was out of the house and I didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
I just kept going.
You got your guitar?
Got my guitar. That was a lot of motivation, yeah.
Did you finish school? Did you manage to finish high school?
I did, but you know, there was a time where I thought that I should just end, like, because I was thinking, you know, I wanted to start working, earning money, but I'm so happy that I finished school and I went on to study radio production.
Yeah. With the help of other people,
that's right,
not your family.
Yes, yeah.
And then after doing radio production, you produced for people like Jeremy Mansfield at some stage.
Yeah, pretty funny. I mean, it was a couple of years ago, but you were in studio with us, and I was running around probably getting you a coffee or something. And
so this is when Darren used to do just the phone calls.
The phone
on Jeremy's show, or was it before?
This was Hot 919.
Oh, so this is after 94.7.
Yeah, this
is very recent. Then.
Yeah, this is like two and a half years ago.
Oh yeah, this is very recent.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were still making tea, like?
Were
you interning?
I did start as an intern.
Yeah.
But I ended up working as a producer for them for 2 years.
That's dope.
But yeah, Darren likes his coffee, so I was running around making coffee. But it was pretty cool because I got to greet the guests and make my own relationships, build my own relationships with them. Yeah, it's incredible.
Because you meet so many people, especially as a producer.
It's funny. I mean, we're sitting here now, and it's incredible that the people that I met through radio that it was always like, oh, I hope I meet them one day as a singer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to meet these people one day, and then all of a sudden they were part of my daily life, and there was a big change in my reality and what I thought I could accomplish going forward.
Were they always what you expected? The famous people that...
I mean, I think I don't like the fame part of it, so for me it wasn't a letdown when I realized they're just people. I think that's probably a good thing, and I think as a radio producer, that is my goal also when I do create content, is not to say, oh, let's promote this guy's show. No, let's tell their story, let's get into the bad stuff. So I mean, no, they weren't always what I thought, and I think initially I had a role model who I thought, you know, I mean, I'm gonna speak about this. So I had a role model. Jensu was my role model. It was my first person that I met at 5FM when I interned, and she was snapping photos with everybody who's you know somebody, and I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. When she asked me what I wanted to do, I want to be an entertainment reporter. And then 3 years went past where I was doing production, and I fell in love with storytelling, and I realized I'm not anything like her in what she's doing. She does it very well.
And it works for her.
It works for her.
Yeah.
But I feel like I had wrong role models initially for what I want to achieve. And somewhere along the line I had to change my role models,
Where does coming to New York begin? So let's say 2.5 years ago you are at Hot 91.9. It's a radio station in South Africa. And at what stage do you go, I think I want to leave South Africa, or I want to go to New York, or I want to go to America?
You know what? It was, I think I left even though it was the first time I had some stability, like a good income, place to live, you know, a
and
community.
You're all paying this by yourself.
Yeah, it was a really good position to be in, but then it's something was still not enough, and I think a lot of that has to do with just the age we were living in, where you always want more. I think that's one of it, and the other thing was I didn't feel like I was achieving what I wanted to. I wanted to go explore more, and then I judged myself for a very long time when I left radio, because it was like, for me it was I had all these great things. I could keep them and then this could be my life forever, or the other option was throw it all away, because that's what people will tell you you're doing. You're throwing it all away. And for a long time I was punching myself up about it, and because moving to New York was sort of, I mean, I started out, I do have babysitting gigs.
Yeah.
A lot of things that, you know, just ripped me from what my reality was, right back to no one knows or cares who's Lyla.
Yeah.
So I judged myself for a long time about it, until I asked myself the question, what am I judging myself about? Like, I don't care about owning a car. I don't care about owning property. I am bad with finances, and that's
Bitcoin.
something, you know, there's things I need to work on.
Yeah.
But, you know, I judged myself for being different, and then I was like, and then I got to a point where I met people in New York who have given up their apartments and live in Airbnbs every month in a different state, because they also feel like they need more.
Yeah.
So I think I left South Africa because I felt like every person should at least once in their life forget about their career, forget about having the bills, forget about social media, put your phone down, go somewhere for a little bit. So I'm still figuring it out. But
do you think you're gonna go back to South Africa? Go back to live in anywhere else other than New York? Is it like, does it hurt you when you, like, is it served for you when you think about South Africa?
The sad part for me is I feel that I would love to go and visit again, but I don't think I have plans of moving back anytime soon. The hard part is feeling that I have found a life for myself where it's a better quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, I still miss the community, but the hard part is, which I think you brought up in an interview recently, where you were saying that, you know, when times are so tough, we're all together in this, we're all talking about it, and then once one person, you're on your own, and you're like, things are finally better, and I'm gonna isolate myself, and I'm just gonna like enjoy it. And I think that, you know, the same happened for me, where I'm like, this is great, but you know, I have a family back home, and I wish, you know, they could feel safe at night. I mean, I'm not gonna get into it, but security is a big deal for me, being in America.
Yeah. And
the quality of life, yeah.
Which is better, to some extent, I guess.
But that being said, I do my best to represent South Africa while I'm here.
I think it's hard for anyone to stop being South African.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's why I always try and find out from South Africans outside South Africa. The first thing I do when I get to another town or country, if I can, I try and find other South Africans, right? And just see what they're doing. I guess it's a comfort place type thing. You know, even when I was doing my show in New York, the first thing I tried to do was find South Africans so they can come to my show. So, did you seek out other South Africans intentionally, or was it coincidence? Or did you join the Facebook groups with South Africans?
I think it was intentional at first, definitely because of the comfort. And then now I'm at a stage where I'm like, I can't keep living only in that space. So I would say that I had a good balance at first, but I went out looking for South Africans, and there's a major big expat community, and they get together for the South African holidays, and we go and have a braai, you know, wherever, and you know, so it's, you feel, the thing about living in New York is, I think people are not connected the same way we're used to in South Africa. You can have a conversation and people will stop talking to you if the conversation is no longer about them. Which, I mean...
okay, so you mentioned, sorry to interrupt you, because you mentioned the South Africans getting together on South African holidays or having braais, barbecue, for reference. So I need you to tell the story. What happened to you? I'm assuming this might have been your first sort of braai or
Yeah.
South Africans gathering. I think it was under the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, you tell the story. What happened, or you tell me what happened.
Sure. So it was my first time attending one of these get-togethers, and my friend Sean arranges all these get-togethers, and he said bring your guitar because he just knows me as the girl with the guitar or whatever, and also I like to hide behind it, and I also walk around with my recording equipment because I'm actually really shy, but when I get into a new situation, if I have a recorder in my hand or my guitar, then I can talk to people that way. So icebreaker. So I brought the guitar with, and we are having a big braai with probably like 200 people, South Africans, under the bridge. And at the end of the event, when we all were a little tipsy, I was saying let's sing the anthem, and somebody filmed it.
Yeah,
and
you started singing
yes,
the
on the
national
guitar.
anthem
Yeah.
with your guitar. Yeah.
And
I hope you've got some footage.
It's
somewhere.
all over. Yeah, it went viral in South Africa. It was the next morning. It was on a lot of South African radio stations, websites.
When was it? Which holiday was it, or what day?
I'm trying to think back, but it was probably around the time you were here. It was probably about a year ago.
Oh, really? Around July, August.
It might have been Heritage
September.
Day last year.
It might September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So then that went viral.
So the videos of you singing the national anthem on your guitar were mad in South Africa.
Yeah.
And then?
Well, it's funny. At first, I have to laugh about it because if we did this on the Mandela Bridge, it was just going to be cool. But since it's New York, the headlines were like South African expats sing out.
So you had to come to New York to sing the national anthem on the bridge, basically. Okay.
You know, it does. When you say you're in New York, people do pay attention.
Yeah.
Which I think it's funny, but I mean, all said and done, it takes a lot to be here and stay here.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna downplay it, but and I've always had this thing about wanting to sing the anthem because I wasn't allowed to sing the new anthem growing up as a kid.
What do you mean?
My family.
Oh, the mixed one.
Yeah, the Nkosi.
The one that has the
before
African part.
Stem. That one. I mean, after I wasn't allowed to sing our new anthem.
By your parents or
yes, by my
family.
My mom wasn't very impressed when it was changed from the Stem, and so I had to break out of that on my own, and I did, which was also very much part of why I left home. And
how did you end up with your middle name being Sibongile?
College. In college, I was the only white girl in my class, first of all.
Which college is this?
I know, it's so funny because I feel like my story is such a reverse of the typical,
of course, being the only black.
Yeah,
you were the only white.
Yeah, and it was quite cool for me.
Which school or college?
Namisa, National Electronic Media Institute
I
of
used
South
to film
Africa.
my TV show there, the
You're
Film and Acting show.
kidding me.
Yeah, we
No
filmed
way.
the Film and Acting. Well, we had offices at Namisa.
Alright.
I think for season 1. This is like 14 years ago. In Parktown.
In Parktown. So I was there for a year.
Yeah. So you were studying music or
I was
production?
studying radio production.
Radio production.
And it sort of just became, I changed my name actually from it was very Afrikaans, and then I changed my whole name to Lyla ILLING. That was not part of
That's
my
not
history.
your birth name?
That's not it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was brought up Afrikaans, and I ran as far as I could from it because I didn't like what people associated with it and my family's values. And so that was hard, but
that's deep.
It's deep, I know, but
it's a hard choice to make, because you're forced to make it.
Yeah.
And do you think your identity makes you any less Afrikaner, or what you've done now in terms of, do you think you are less Afrikaans?
Yes.
And that's what you wanted to be.
That's what I wanted. Yeah. But now that I'm a little bit older, because it's about 6 years later since I changed my name, I look at it and I think I have, I try to look at it with, not closed-minded and I think, this is so difficult to express.
Imagine. I was gonna say, I know the audience will probably think I should ask you what was your real name, but I don't want to ask you.
I mean, I don't. It's Talia Lutz. I mean, doesn't
My
that
wife's
sound
name is
Afrikaans?
Thalia. it's a Greek name.
That's funny.
She's Greek.
Yeah.
But it's Thalia.
All
So yours was Talia.
Yeah, Talia Lutz, and I just couldn't do it. Lia.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. It was people even like trying to get into the music and radio industry. People automatically assumed that, you know, maybe she's gonna start singing Steve Wolfmeyer songs or. And I had to choose for myself who I wanted to be. And in the media industry, like I used to pronounce things like, and I think a lot of us would have the same. Doesn't matter your race, but pronouncing things a certain way in South Africa, people automatically think, oh, you're from there or from there.
Yeah.
So I would say Ontdekkers Road, and then people would say, oh, do you mean Ontdekkers Road? And you know, I just adapted because I wanted to be taken seriously.
When you're in New York, do people notice you are Afrikaans? Not that you're South African, but you're Afrikaans.
No.
Do they notice you're South African?
A lot of people.
Not really.
Not so much. I mean, you get the now and again people will say, "Are you Australian?" Very few people will say, "Are you South African?" And a lot of people are very surprised when I say my first language is Afrikaans and not English.
Wow.
So I think that I just, you know, it was an idea I had when I was younger, and now it became my identity, and it works for me.
You're still doing production work here, or going into studio? Are you recording an album, or you just putting together tracks, or you trying to continue learning and working
I've put acoustic album that I've recorded. I've put that on iTunes. It's online. I just released that.
Send us a link and then we'll do a swipe up. And what's the title of the album?
One-Sided Conversations.
Okay. By Lyla ILLING.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay.
That's the one, yes.
You almost had me. You told me that I was nothing without you. But after everything you do, I can thank you for how strong I have become. You brought the flames and you put me through hell. I had to learn how to fight for myself, and we both know all the truth I would tell. I'll just say this as I wish you farewell.
And how's it doing? Have you shot a video yet? A music video?
There are a few. I'm very much, I like getting behind the camera while I'm in front of the camera, selfie sticks and everything. I really like recording and shooting my own stuff. And firstly, I'm not signed by a label, and it's time for me to try and take that to the next level.
Do you want to be signed?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for that. I feel like I know who I am, and if it happened any sooner, I wouldn't have known who I was, and anybody could have told me, oh, you should be like this or you should be like that.
Why don't you collaborate with all the South African artists that keep coming in and out? I think you like them, you know, your Casper and your Fests, your AKAs. So many South Africans.
They are. I think Goldfish was here not long ago. Also, it's
do you know them? Do you get in touch with them? Because we met on social media.
Well,
you came to my show. Thank you very much when I was here. And do you try and hook and catch up or meet other South African artists?
And no.
You know?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I used to be very much on it, and then I felt like I went through this phase where it's like, oh, social media is like taking too much of me, and trying to reach out to 10 people and one person gets back to you, and as an artist or somebody who's creative. That's
not a bad success rate, by the way.
I understand
1 out
that,
of 10.
yeah. No, I understand that, and I think we have to work so hard to go forward.
I think keep doing it. Because the one person that replies might matter more than everyone that's ever not replied or not bothered before. But you won't know. You're not in control of knowing who's gonna reply or who's not.
I agree with that.
So you might stop at number 49, but the 50th person would have been the one that gives you a recording deal.
Yeah.
You know, because they're also there seeking something on social media or whatever platform
you're on.
These are. But put out your content, you know, your videos or whatever you're making, put it out. You've got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I do.
YouTube channel.
More on Facebook. You know, the other thing is, Facebook is still quite big in South Africa, where it's Instagram.
Yeah.
So having to take those followers over to Instagram is you know, you still have to. I post on both
Do all
channels.
of them. Don't try and move them.
Yeah.
My social media makes no sense to me. I've got 750,000 followers on Twitter. I've got 9,800 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I try to as often as I can and say, please follow, subscribe to my
But it
YouTube,
gets so
subscribe
old,
to my,
yeah, it gets,
you know, Facebook, Instagram, about 115, 120 each, which again, it's like, but I've got 750,000 on Twitter. You know, why are they not subscribing to my YouTube channel? Why are they not following me on Instagram? So everybody, all of them serve a different different purpose. You know, Snapchat, get on Snapchat.
Yeah, and you don't know who's watching nowadays. I feel like your resume even is online. You don't know who's watching.
If you aren't already like a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk,
oh no, definitely.
You should
no, he's pretty.
watch a few videos or whatever.
Yeah.
But Musically is one of the apps that he's starting to talk about, or he talks about.
Yes.
Which is basically people miming or singing along to popular songs or whatever. You know, it's obviously it started with the young kids or young girls, but all apps started somewhere, and the intention was for that person or to target that audience, and then they ended up going in different directions. But definitely you won't know where is your you know, where's your
the one
next
person who's
best
gonna matter
thing or luck or person you're gonna meet.
Yeah, that's why I think traveling was so important.
Yeah.
And as much as I judged myself for leaving a career behind, with that video of the Brooklyn Bridge, that ended up in me singing our anthem in DC for the Springboks earlier in June.
That's the end of the story. Sorry.
Yeah, we never got
went
like
there.
so.
So the thing went viral in South Africa. Then you sent something, or someone sent something to the South African Rugby Union.
Yeah, somebody I used to work with in radio forwarded them an article
about you having sung the song and the video, and then they said they'll get back to you. They might ask you to sing.
Yeah, it was they told me to submit a professional recording, so I went into a studio here and did a professional recording
of the national anthem.
Of the anthem, yes. And then they were like, "Oh, great, thanks. We'll put you on the list, on the waiting list." Then they announced the match in DC.
Yeah.
And I emailed them. I didn't wait.
Who was South Africa playing?
Wales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Washington DC.
Yeah, it was a once in a lifetime thing. It never happens.
Yeah.
So crazy. And
how long ago is this?
This was on June 2nd, so it's recently.
Last year.
No.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Is this now?
It was like yesterday.
It's like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, it was what happened was then I reminded Saru that I had my audition tape that I sent to them, and
South African Rugby Union.
That's it. And they told me that the American Rugby Union are the ones in charge of deciding who sings, so they send it on, and then the USA Rugby Union got back to me and they gave me the opportunity to sing the anthem, and then that happened, and I'm still kind of like recovering from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've got some sort of footage, or like your phone or a friend with a camera or something, right?
Yeah, it was everywhere. It was just my phone was blowing up.
Watch out, guys.
pretty crazy day, and but I'm also very truthful about my experiences. And I think being in New York, it just gives me the opportunity to be away from everybody, like family and friends, and I can say whatever is on my mind without anybody like tweaking it or saying, oh, you shouldn't say that. And so I wrote about my experience, and I was not limousined around or put up in a hotel, and I mean, those things don't matter to me. That's not who I am. But people think you're a celebrity now, and I'm like, whoa, no, this is how it felt. This is what happened. This was the highlights. These were the parts that I was there alone without I didn't have my family there, you know. So I think it's important to just say that chasing celebrity is not the end goal.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have
Same
fun
as chasing
along.
money.
Yeah, you need to have fun along the way and love what you do.
I've started